Christopher Dorner body positively ID'd. What's going on, guys? It is Sunday, February 17, 2013. Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report. Weekly news briefing. I'm going to give you all the links that I've stowed over the past week, and what a week of news it has been. Let's start off with this. Christopher Dorner's body positively ID'd, says the medical examiners. Put a link to this from CNN. Judge Napolitano on unusual circumstances surrounding the manhunt for Christopher Dorner. Unusual indeed. Put a link to that. Sheriff says cabin not purposely burned in firefight. Not purposely burned? Really? This from Yahoo News. You're sure you're going to take that stance? We've all heard the scanner audio. It's even been on the mainstream media. The deputies there, the tactical people involved, burned this MFer down. It wasn't burned deliberately. I'll put a link to the scanner audio as well. You can decide for yourself. Not a conspiracy this time because it's been all over the place. In my opinion, Christopher Dorner was murdered. He was murdered. Whether or not law enforcement wanted to seek revenge on this individual for killing their brothers, while I do not condone that, I certainly understand that, but that's not their job. It's not their job to be judge, jury, and executioner. By you guys burning him alive so much that they could barely identify the body, I think you proved the point that he was trying to make in his manifesto. And you did it with the whole world watching. Now, whether or not he was going to be taken alive, meaning was he going to take his own life, that's irrelevant. You should have never started that fire. Burn the MFer down. Yeah, nice work, guys. I don't know. My opinion on Christopher Dorner, I don't know. I really don't. I have to remind myself that the information I'm getting as far as Christopher Dorner goes is coming to me from the mainstream media, who I don't trust in the first place. But yes, I think he was murdered. I'm Your Ghost did a great video. Chris Dorner was framed. This is why. I'll put a link to it. Interesting points made in this video. Check it out. It's 10 minutes long. Great video, and a thank you to Monty for putting that together. So, that's all I'm going to say about Christopher Dorner. As far as the story goes, the official story, a lot of questions. Just like Sandy Hook and 9/11 and everything else. We'll never know. But I do believe he was murdered. Other news going on. Olympic Arms Incorporated announces New York State sales policy will no longer serve first responders. Right on. A weapons manufacturer is saying they're no longer going to serve New York State first responders over the legislation that was passed. Right on. I don't have much else for mainstream news, so I'm going to switch over to financial news. Let's see. Millions improperly claimed by U.S. phone subsidies. Obama phone? Never forget that one. No crap. $2.2 billion last year to provide phones to low-income Americans. Millions improperly claimed. Go figure. I'll put a link to that from the Wall Street Journal. From MSN Money, struggling Caribbean islands selling citizenship. Very interesting right up here. I think my cousin sent me that one. Thanks for that one, bro. Fed has bought more U.S. government debt this year than Treasury has issued. From CNSnews.com. Isn't that interesting? And another one I think my cousin sent me. Senator Elizabeth Warren grills regulators on taking banks to trial. You guys want to check into that? Neat stuff. Over to New World Order and police state news. Now let me ask you, how do you feel about mandatory door-to-door vaccinations? I don't know what state this is because it's not filled out in the info box, but I'll put a link to the video. School in some state, not sure which one, going around doing door-to-door vaccinations, bringing a nurse along with them. If your child is not vaccinated, they are not allowed in school. By the way, we're also looking for truancy kids and all this kind of stuff. Interesting video here. You're going to check it out. Put a link to it. Let's see. Obama signs long-awaited cybersecurity executive order. CISPA. Let's see. Announcement may reduce pressure on Congress to move ahead with CISPA, actually. Controversial privacy bill. La da da da. We all know about that. Internet 2 is coming right along, guys. I'll put a link to this from CNET. U.S. senators propose assassination court to deal with drone strikes. Fox News, I'm not making it up. And eye in the sky, be advised, drones flying over San Diego County. Local media in San Diego put a link to this. PD putting drones in the sky. And there was another drill, emergency disaster drill training held in Fremont. I believe this is California. Yeah, Fremont, California, be advised. It's a few days old, but I'll put a link to it. Missouri Democrats introduced legislation to confiscate firearms. Gun owners would have 90 days to turn in their weapons. Good luck with that. And we have another one. I probably covered this last week, but somebody sent it to me, so I'll just put it from the Blaze. Gun confiscation bill proposed in California. We can save lives, they say. This is from February 8th. Let's see here. One more. New York City Mayor Bloomberg to announce he wants to ban Styrofoam. Whatever. Over to World War III news. I don't have any links this week. I'm going to send you over to my friend F-Town at ENDGAME, beginning of WW3. He's doing full-time now. He's doing Mideastern World News, World War III, comprehensive coverage of what's going on in the Mideast. I will put a link to his website. And he's doing almost daily videos. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel if you want to subscribe for World War III news. Always good stuff. F-Town, I appreciate your work. Thanks, man. Over to 2012 and Earth Changes news. You guys no doubt know about the falling meteor explodes over Russia. The Wall Street Journal did a write-up on this. I'll put a link to their article. Let's see. NBC barrier. Watch fireball streaks across skies of San Francisco Bay. Put a link to this from NBC Bay. From the Daily Paul, we got a report meteor crash in Cuba. I wasn't able to find a lot about this Cuban thing. I've heard a lot of people buzz about it going around, though, so I'll put a link to this. Apparently something happened with a meteor in Cuba. Russian meteor and asteroid 2012 DA-14 flyby not linked, says NASA. If you believe NASA. I'm not saying either way whether they were linked. I just think it's very coincidental they both happened on the same day. The same day we have the closest call of an asteroid to our planet in the history of tracking asteroids. We have a meteor that explodes over Russia, damages 3,000 plus buildings, injures thousands of people. For what it's worth. U.S. House Committee to hold hearing on asteroid risk, says Space.com. Well, good idea. And fireballs, January and February thread collection. Those of you who use GLP, I'll put a link to this thread here. It's compiled all of the threads in January and February of the asteroids and meteors and whatnot going on, fireballs. So I'll put a link to this. Pull it up. It's got links to all the different threads. A lot of asteroid and meteor talk shortly after 2012. Put a link to this. One more link I got in 2012 Earth Changes news. Tornado tears through southern Mississippi. This was Monday, February 11, 2013. A link to that. Over to strange and bizarre news, we had the cruise ship investigation underway. The cruise ship Triumph. The investigation, it seems like in the past few years we've seen a number of these cruise ships go just completely, dead in the water. You mean to tell me that the engineers who design and build these things, there's only like 1 or 2 power supplies for the whole ship? This has happened too many times now. I'm starting to think that these cruise ships are being taken out by some sort of experimental EMP weapons. Because as an electrician, I can tell you, it's absolutely freaking retarded to think that something that size, a small floating city, has only 1 power supply and it can all be taken out by a fire in 1 engine room. I'd be willing to bet that every level of that thing has some sort of backup power system. But I'll put a link to the article. If it is as the official story goes, then the engineers who design those things are absolutely freaking stupid. Something that big is going to have multiple power supplies. So I don't buy that story for a second, but I'll put a link to it. More strange and bizarre news. Local station breaks into programming with terrifying zombie apocalypse emergency alert. People call the cops because they're scared. This is a true story. I actually saw this on CNN. Weird stuff. Somebody hijacked the EAS. Let's see. Prisoner hides smuggled cell phone in body orifice. I'm not going to read any more of that. I'll put a link to that. Let's see. Roman Church admits Pope's guilt. Says the Pope is retiring over evidence of blah, 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 something I don't know, some sort of financial and probably pedophilia type stuff. I'll put a link. I'm not going to go into it. Let's see. Scream, shouts, then 4 shots. This, I don't know this guy. I can't pronounce this guy's name. This Olympic guy, this with no legs, this amputee, double amputee who was in the Olympics, apparently murdered his girlfriend. Bizarre story. I don't really care about it, but I'll put a link to it. Let's see. That's all I got for news. Check my favorites. As always, I'm constantly favoriting videos, fresh content. Thank you to everybody who puts out videos. Always fresh news over there. Shout out this week. Shout out to Desarty1. Did a great video. Portrait of a Modern American Tyrant. You really need to check out Desarty's video here. It's 5 minutes long. There's a cop, I believe it's in California, saying that, guns are not defensive weapons, and cops only have guns for intimidation. Check out Desarty's video. Pretty eye-opening. Thanks for that one, Desarty. Good stuff. That's pretty much all I got. If you like this report, please rate it. Thumbs up. Thumbs down if you think it sucks. It's the worst of YouTube. Just please rate it. I appreciate it. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook and all. I'll put all those links below as well. That's all I got, guys. Just another amazing, crazy week of news. You guys like me doing these reports, so I'll keep them going. I believe this is number 40. So we'll keep them going. I will see you guys on the next one. You guys take care. Stay safe. Stay sane. Think slow. I'll see you on the next one.